All right, how's it going, everyone? It's Nick Atkin here with a bonus Tuesday show. Wasn't expecting to be doing one today, but some big breaking news happened. Of course, Stamp Fairtex is out. She's injured. She's out of 168. Not just that one, sorry. She's out of two fights, one 167 and one 168. Two title fights, one next month, one in September in Denver. She has undergone surgery on a knee injury. 6 months is the timeline. So, huge breaking news. There are plenty of ramifications as well I'm going to get into. But yes, I'm back quicker than I thought I would be. I thought I'd be back on Wednesday. But yeah, we were alluding to it, Tristan and I, on the Monday show. We had discussed it before we went live, but we decided not to talk about it because A, I hadn't verified it, and B, I'm sure I would have pissed off one championship if I talked about it. Because yes, as you saw today, they lined up a big press conference in Thailand with Prem Fairtex to break the news. And yeah, huge news. That is the main event of next month's big show. It's not just any show, it's their first show at Impact Arena in a long time. Since January 2023. Main event is gone now. Huge news. And main event of Denver. Again, not just any show, Denver. The return to the US at the Ball Arena, the home of the Denver Nuggets. We will get into all of that, though. How's everyone doing? Hope you're all well. This will be a quicker show than normal, more of a breaking news show. I don't have a guest co-host with me, so I can't talk for an hour on my own. It'd be extremely boring. But if you do have questions and comments, it will help if you can throw them in the chat. We can have a nice live discussion, lively debate, talk about what one championship's going to do next, how they can fill these gaps maybe on the shows, because huge gaps. Stamp is undoubtedly, I would say, top two stars in one championship, just behind Rod Tang. Big shoes to fill. Yeah, we'll discuss how they can do that. And there's some other news as well we can get into briefly. Perhaps in relation to this, one has seemingly confirmed the featherweight kickboxing Grand Prix, which I think I wrote that up for Sportskeeda in April. Seemed they finally confirmed that story, but they didn't give an exact start date. I think they just want to get some other news out there other than the Stamp injury, because that is a pretty devastating blow for them. But we'll get into all that. Anyway, how are you all doing? I'm sweating over here, actually, so I'm going to turn on my aircon. But 1 second. There we go. Much better. All right. Okay. Let's get into it, though. I hope you're all good. I am ready for bed, so I'm kind of half dressed at the moment. You may have just seen me in my boxer shorts. I just realized. Apologies if you did. But yes, Chester here. Josh, what's up? Saying they should stop double booking. That's potentially two cards messed up. Yes. So Stamp was booked, of course, for the Denice fight, at atomweight MMA title defense in a couple of weeks. And then she was going to go up to strawweight and challenge Xiong Jingnan in Denver, September 5th, something like that, 6th. Yeah, a lot of people thought double booking is crazy. You know, what if she loses to Denice and then goes up and gets a title shot? It'd be strange, but not like if she just loses. What if she gets injured, you know? And she has been injured, but not in the fight, in training. So it's, yeah, questionable practice. A lot of people not happy with it. But it's not just Stamp, it's Rod Tang has also been double booked for June, and then not the Denver card, but he's in September, I believe, in Tokyo. That hasn't been confirmed yet. Maybe they're going to reshuffle Rod Tang now, get him onto Denver. Who knows? It's not just those guys, though. Super Lek is also double booked now for June 28th, the Friday Fights tentpole pay-per-view card, and the Denver card. He's now the main event in Denver, him and Haggerty. Liam Harrison double booked. He's on June against Katsuki Katano, I believe it is, Japan. And then Sexan in September in Denver. Again, what if he gets injured? What if any of these guys get injured? It's guys and girls. Questions to be asked. I hope it's not unfair to ask those questions. Yes. John KL, hello, saying what is stopping them from booking Tiffany Teo to save the Denver card? Well, that's it. What do you do now? Do you hold with Xiong Jingnan and get her a new opponent? She hasn't had a title defense since September 22, and that was Angela Lee, a trilogy. So not against any of her usual division. They haven't built up any challenges for her in that time. They've kind of just forced strawweight fighters to go down to atomweight, such as Ayaka Miura and Tiffany Teo. So yes, there's no real number one contender they could slot in for that fight. If you're gonna put a, if you're gonna make me make a guess, or I would, you could do Ayaka Miura. She's coming off a couple wins, but they are at atomweight, I believe, and she has lost to Xiong already. Xiong has kind of cleared out her whole division. They don't really have They don't have rankings for it on the website. So, yes, I'm not sure who you could go to. And is it still worth having her on the card if it's not with Stamp? I don't know. Anyway, B. Navarro, hello, says this must be very heartbreaking for Denice. She should not accept the given substitute opponent. What do you think? Have they given Denice another opponent? Did I miss that? I may have done, but I don't think so. Have you seen it? I'm not sure. If they do give her a late notice, yeah, I doubt she shouldn't really take it unless it's for an interim title. Then yeah, take it. But if you're gonna fight someone on a week's notice, 2 weeks, I think, yeah, not really worth it for her. The risk, of course, she has a title fight locked up against Stamp. This has happened to Denice. I feel bad for her because she had a title fight with Angela Lee locked up, and then Angela announced she was pregnant and took more than a year off. Yes, and then by the time Angela came back, they'd had a Grand Prix, and Denice lost in the Grand Prix to Ham, so Stamp eventually won that Grand Prix. It was all a bit crazy. I remember that was a chaotic Grand Prix. Ham got injured as well. So much drama. Yeah. Anyway, long time ago. Christ. Anyway, yes, Denice. I don't know. Let me know. Have you seen anything about her getting another opponent? How about the Shadow Cat, Jihin Radsuan? She's ready for her shot, says John. No, Jihin has lost her last fight. Didn't make weight for it either. She's not even ranked anymore. So it says on the one post she is on the card with a no-name opponent. Okay, I should read this card. I didn't even read it. How professional of me. I'm gonna put it on screen for all you guys. Yeah, not just look at my phone. This is more fun. Let's get the official word from the horse's mouth. One Championships Instagram account. Let's share it on screen now. Here we go. Breaking news. Stamp out of 167 due to injury. Stamp has undergone surgery for a torn meniscus and is out of her women's atomweight MMA world title defense against Denice Zamboanga at 167 on Prime Video. We wish Stamp the best in her recovery and will provide an update on her status for the rest of the year in the near future. Zamboanga will remain on the card against an opponent to be named. Stay tuned. Right. Two things there then. They haven't confirmed she's out of Denver, but I've had a torn meniscus twice, and the time frame is going to be tight for her. It's at least 2 months of she'll be doing rehabbing for at least 2 months. So that kind of puts her June, July. at a push, she could maybe be ready for Denver, but then you're talking coming out off a 2-month layoff from surgery, having about 5 weeks to get ready, something like that. It's going to be tough, and I don't know. I from what I understand, she's out of the other fight as well, but maybe one are trying to keep that option open. They don't want to slow down ticket sales for America. I understand that. But yes, I'm sure a lot of people are upset. They must have bought tickets for Bangkok to see Stamp, but more, probably much more importantly, people who have bought the big Denver front row tickets, things like that. Stamp was the star of the show. Yes, what will one do? We'll get into that in a minute. But yes, Zamboanga is on the card. I didn't realize that. I'm not sure who they will throw her against, but interesting. I'm trying to think. Maybe it is Jihin. You could be right, John KL. You could be right. Or, yeah, I have a feeling they may just throw Itsuki Hirata or Victoria Souza at her. There's another fight on that card that adds some weight. Yeah, that makes more sense. Probably Vic Souza because I don't know. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the chat. Itsuki versus Denice would be somewhat intriguing. There you go. All right, sorry, I've neglected the chat. I'm gonna get back to it. The Chandy98, good to see you again after yesterday. Says, wow, Panpike would have been useful to avoid that Super League double booking. Yeah, would have been. Honestly, NG says, Tawan Chai and Joe should have been the main event since the start. Yeah, we had this debate before, similar to Denver, that Super League and Haggerty is obviously a more technical fight than Stamp and Xiong. But undeniably, Stamp Fairtex is a bigger star than either Superlek or Haggerty in terms of combat sports fans globally. Do you know what I mean? So I think the same is the case for this June show. Although Tawanchai is very big in Thailand, but has Tawanchai cracked outside of Thailand? Has he got much of a name? Not sure, but I think Stamp does have a growing name outside of Thailand. Tetsuya says Superbon versus Alazov or Tawanchai versus some random guy to save the Denver show. Well, yes, we'll get into it. Maybe the featherweight Grand Prix kickboxing has been greenlit now, pushed forward to save the show. Marcus Mustard says Sportskeeda has an MMA and original MMA channel. Why too? Yeah, I don't know. I believe the MMA channel has all their reels on it and stuff. I was just told to put content on this channel, and then they tried to switch me back to the other channel, and it was a bit like no one knew what was going on, and they said, "Oh, just go back to the old channel." So I did. I'm just following orders, Marcus, Mr. Mustard. But when I started this channel, it was about 2,000 subs, and now we've got it up to 24, nearly 25. So I thought it was stupid to abandon the channel. So I'm happy they've stuck with it. Let's keep going. John KL, we've done that one. Right. So chill. You are easy to listen to, Keita, says Camber Ribbons. Thank you. I hope that's a sincere message. I don't know if it is. I love talking about One Championship, so if you enjoy that, listening to it, that's cool. We're here every Monday and Wednesday normally. I have guests often. But this is a breaking news show, trying to mix it up a little bit. If there's big breaking news, I'm happy to jump on and discuss it. But thank you for that, Camber. Even though I've got a bit of a blocked nose, I'm glad you believe I'm chill and easy to listen to. John Kale, let's not forget our franchise fighter, Landalani, the Panther. Only problem is who would be a good dance partner for him in Denver. Leave the Panther alone, man. He's too busy training the next gen in Hong Kong here. The Panther walked so they could run. That's all I'll say. Yes, Marcus, again, the meniscus is a common one, biggest joint in the body. Yeah, like I said, I had it twice. I used to be quite, you may not think of it to look at me, but I used to be quite thin and active and athletic. And I played football 4 times a week, and it's in decent shape. It's pretty quick. This is in England, not Hong Kong. And yeah, and then I just didn't know what I'd done, but I tore my meniscus, and then my knee blew up, but I just kind of carried on trying to play with it. Got worse and worse. Eventually got surgery. Rushed back from the rehab, didn't rehab properly, did the same injury, had to get the surgery again, to the point I've now messed my knee up so bad I'm not able to run that much. Yes, it's a difficult injury to. It can really affect people in different ways. It can be very tough to come back from, or obviously it's better than ACL, all those CL stuff. But it is a tough one because if it's a bad tear, it can stay with you for life, and it doesn't go away. It can get worse, and you can get arthritis. Is what I've told I'll be having when I'm 50. I'll just be arthritic, which is great. So hopefully for Stamp, it's not a bad tear. But the problem is it can happen so easily when you just turn left or right. That's what I did just playing football. I didn't get fouled or anything. Didn't. I just remember turning suddenly, and that was it. So hopefully for Stamp, yes, it's not a bad one. Marcus again says we can't prognosticate. The most simple knee surgery and minor meniscus is a lot different than a large meniscus tear. Yes. As I was, yeah, you took the words out of my mouth, Marcus. Shandy says, feel like it's been a while since Stamp's last fight as well. It has. It's September last year. She beat Ham for the title, so it would have been 12 months for Denver. So it would have, I guess, 9 months, something like that, for Denice. Yeah, and now she'll be out for a while, and she is one of their big stars. I didn't really. I don't know why they kept her out for so long. I feel, yeah, she should have probably fought earlier this year. I'm not sure why she didn't. June for me was still too late. I guess they wanted her on a big arena show, but she was booked for Qatar, right, against Denice originally in March. Then they took that off the card. They moved it to June. And here we are. Now we're not going to see Stamp again for a while. I don't know why they didn't just do it in Qatar. Yeah, I guess they wanted her to sell out the show in Bangkok, but I don't know. When you start messing around with things like this, yeah, things tend to go wrong. NG says it would be much worse if it was an ACL tear or something. I think Tawanchai and Joe should have been in the main event. Honestly, would draw more of a crowd since it's Muay Thai. Sure, Tawanchai is a huge name in Thailand. Stamp is too. I hope. The good thing is it's quite close to the event, so yeah, it may not affect ticket sales too much. But it's still going to be tough for them to fill that arena because it's a morning show. It's a 7 a.m. start, I believe. So, and it's Impact Arena is out of town. It's non-Taubari, near there. So yeah, it's going to be difficult again. Losing Stamp of that show is a big blow because to get people up at 6 a.m. to head out of town into the Bangkok, the Impact Arena. Yeah, having Stamp on the show is a good way to drive people to do such a mad thing. But it could be Chihiro Sawada being the virus says for for Denise's new opponent. Yeah, it could be. Chihiro's been on a bit of a roll, couple wins now in one. Looks good. But if I'm any woman in that division, I'd be wary of Sawada. She looks freakishly strong, despite her impish size. She's a threat, I believe. Could be 2 weeks or 6 months, says Marcus Mustard. Yes, it could be. It could be. I heard 6 months was the word, but I can understand one not wanting to play it up too soon, and maybe they want to keep that idea of Denver open. Makes sense because she could have a good recovery and get back for that. But yes, what happened? CFR Network, what's up? Says, it just sounds like it was a little training injury, and like I said, it's such an innocuous thing could happen anywhere. She may not even been injured by anyone else. She could have just done it herself. John KL asked, is it kosher to mention Sage Northcutt now? Northcutt in Denver is the biggest no-brainer in the history of brain-optional bookings. Well, they're going to have to patch up their differences first because, yeah, Sage is on the naughty list with one. They didn't like the social media post he put out, savaging them for what happened in Tokyo. And can you blame them for not liking that? Yes, I understand both sides' frustration. I do think, yeah, there's blame on both sides. But that's for another day, perhaps. But perhaps this will spur one into extending an olive branch, John KL, yes, to Sage Northcutt. They're going to need some names now on that show with Stamp Out. Here we go. Smash the like, indeed, CFR Network. Do that, everyone. Like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Here we go. Will her rehab be that quick? I heard she won't be back in action for almost a year, according to her interview at the hospital. Yeah. The hospital interview seemed to be more, a longer time frame on it. That's where I got the 6 months from, and that's sort of why people are saying she'll be out of Denver too. This Instagram post from one seems to suggest she could be fine for that, and they may know more than us. So who knows, guys? Marcus, wow, 3K subs to 25K subs. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend it's all me. It's mostly to do with Martina Kirchinska. This video I put up of her from her debut, the weigh-ins. It's got something like 10 million views now. I'm just going to double check that number, but yes, 9.6 million views since it was published. Yeah, yes, it's gained a lot of money and a lot of subscribers for Sportskeeda. So, but it's had a knock-on effect, pushing people to the channel. More people are discovering us. It's the algorithms firing. So, God bless you, Martina. We're gonna do this show now, and maybe we get Martina on the show, and then we'll get another 10 million views from that. Who knows? But yes, big news today. If you're just tuning in, Stamp Fairtex out of 167. Confirmed. Unconfirmed, she's out of Denver. But I think she is. Right. Hope the title fights get replacements. Sean James says to fill in for Stamp. I wouldn't make an interim title for Denice, but the other fight still needs to go forward. Yeah, I think Xiong Jingnan deserves another challenger. But like I said, who do you give her? Maybe he could do an interim atomweight fight with Denice and Xiong Jingnan. If Denice beats whoever she's gonna get next week, whenever it is, a couple weeks time, you could do that. Would I have that fight as a co-main on Denver? Probably not. Sorry, a little bit. My hair is sticking out there. I would probably have that as a fight in Singapore or Philippines or I mean, if it's Denice, you could do Philippines or you could do Thailand, right? But if it's Denver, it needs to be special, big names. But yes, Stealth Pod, exactly anonymous. Good to see you again. Anonymous wants interim for Denise, but if you have interim, it's got to be someone big, and who is going to take that on such short notice? Sawada, Anonymous is suggesting Ayakamura or Ham. I really don't think Ham would take that fight on 2 weeks' notice, whatever it is. She really wouldn't. Sawada may be crazy enough too, but yeah, one don't seem too keen on interim titles for when it's their big stars that they love, such as Christian Lee, Angela Lee. We saw it with some of the ties like Rod Tang and Stamps. Yeah, we saw Giant Todd didn't defend the belt for 4 years, so it's hit and miss. They make interim titles sometimes when Chingers, Alazov seem to be having problems with them, but now it seems okay. So yeah, I have no idea if they'll make it interim. It's not a given in any case, but it's not out of the question. We'll have to see. I don't understand. Sean says why so many champions are so inactive. I don't think it's their fault. I think it's probably haven't been offered the fights by one. If champions turn down fights, that would be crazy because they're not getting fights. So I'm sure they would take them unless it's not very favorable to them. But if you haven't fought for a year and you get offered a fight and you're a champion, you're going to turn it down? Probably not. Right. All this drama would make for great TV. Yes. Well, I wonder if someone's following everything right now with a camera. That would be interesting, huh? Very interesting to see what went down. Yes. Okay. Anonymous says they claimed they had some kind of production that took priority over the original fight date. We will know nothing about what this important production was. Well, I know what it is. Yeah, I can't talk about it, but it is quite good. But that is interesting. This production may now have some intriguing footage on everything that happened with Stamp. How about our man Shannon Wanshin Weirchai? Is he still fighting? John says. Yeah, he's not in one anymore. He's looking at something else. I think in China. I'll catch up. I always catch up with him every month in Bangkok. Have a lunch with him and his wife, Fei Lee. Have a catch up, usually after the face-offs on the Friday. So I'll double check with him, but yeah, he's not with one anymore. His contract ran down. I think he wanted to stay, but wasn't getting offered fights, and then yeah, it happens. People want to fight. He's 35, is he? I think he'd already missed a few years in his career, so don't blame him. I would love to see Shannon back there in one. I think if the two parties can come to an agreement, I think he'd be a great addition for the Friday fights, tentpole shows. If you want to have a kind of MMA sexan for them, someone the crowd can get behind, because it's not. Let's be honest. Who is there in Thai MMA? Not many. It's Shannon and Loma, Top Noi, Peter Daniso. Very, very few options. Right. Anyway, they removed the 168 poster. Anonymous says so. She's definitely no longer fighting there. Yeah, from what I understand, she's out of that fight too. But I I imagine they don't want to mess up ticket sales for Denver, because same thing happened with January. The Tokyo show won 165, I think it was. Yeah, that's right. When they ticket sales were going really well when they announced Rodtang versus Takeru, and then they said Rodtang's injured, the ticket sales just slowed down, and they were on track to legit have a very quick sellout, I think, with the Rodtang fight. But yeah, so you don't want to kill the buzz, the vibe, the sales too much, because it's a cool card still without Stamp, Superleg and Haggerty, yeah. And then Liam Harrison, Sexan. You got you. And not everyone loves grappling, but Mikey and Cade, Rotolo, Super Fight, some other fights they've announced for that. I'm forgetting. But yeah, that's the big one. One of the big ones. It wasn't more. It's less about the fight itself, her against Young, more the just having Stamp on the card. She is genuinely popular to American fans, I think, and they would put down money to go see her fight. She got a huge reaction last time in Denver. And this is the thing. One is, I think, having some success, because UFC shows now cost about $1,000 for nosebleeds, but you can get very good seats at a one championship show for $200, something like that. Very close up. So hopefully, fans are still going to go check it out, and this won't affect the show too much. But yeah, if I'm one, they need to do a bit of a reshuffle. I think we'll get onto that in a sec. I'm just gonna try and catch up with these messages in the chat. Anonymous says Paul Zhong will now have to sit around and do nothing for another year. Yes, indeed. She was last seen in a special rules fight against Wonder Girl, which was a bit silly and farcical. She hasn't fought MMA for a long time, even before that. I feel for her. She's getting on in age as well, wrong side of 35, I think 37, something like that. Hope I got that right. Sorry, Panda, if I got it wrong. Just Google it. She is 36, or I'm nearly got it right. Yeah, I hope she can stay on the card too, or maybe they can push those two back to Atlanta if the time frame is right. But we just don't know with Stamp, and the meniscus can be a really annoying injury, just like a groin injury, where you can do the rehab, everything, but it doesn't feel right and needs more surgery. Some people don't get surgery on meniscus. They just try to leave it to heal, and then they end up getting surgery anyway. So, yeah. Will she still come out? Kamba says, just as a watcher, oh my God, heartbreaking for her. Was totally heading to Denver. Prob still will. Anyway, that's good to hear that you'll still go. I imagine, yeah, she'll still fly over, and they'll have her be part of the show, do a Stamp dance or something, get her in the cage, treat the fans. Maybe we'll have news on, they could have a stare down face off, whatever you want to call it, with whoever she's going to fight next. If they rearrange one of those fights. How about that Joshua Pasio headliner? John says lots of fans want to see him put away that Jared Brooks challenge once and for all. Denver perfect stage for the JPAC. Yeah. They'll do it in Manila, but there's no date for Manila, so I don't think that'll happen anytime soon. And he's injured. He's got an ACL injury, Joshua, so he won't be ready by Denver, I'm pretty sure. Jared could fill in. Yeah, Jared Brooks, if they find the right opponent. Maybe you throw a load of money at Demetrius Johnson now and say, hey, DJ, come save the show. Give DJ one of the guys in his flyweight division, or you could do that fight with Jared Brooks. Yeah, champ versus champ, although he's not the champ anymore. So they may need to get Jared an interim strawweight belt, and then they could do that fight. But fight news on Jared Brooks is dropping soon, guys. Right, Sawada weighs in a few pounds shy of 115 every time, so I think weight is no issue for her. Yeah, I think she missed weight for the Jihin fight somehow, even though she's about 4'9". I had no idea. Hi all. Alcy says, moral of the story, use more of the roster and give them fights and don't double book. Yes. Indeed. How about Musamechi versus one of the Rotolos in grappling super fight to headline Denver? Oh, I don't think that would go down well online. I'm sure the crowd will respect it, but yeah. Has grappling ever headlined a one event? Not yet. Don't think this is the time to do it. Yes, John Flower isn't happy with that idea. With this news, Sean James says the next big story is going to be Rodtang getting KO'd by Liam, and Rodtang still goes on to fight the Keru and then gets injured for 8 months. Yes, it's a crazy story. I feel bad for one. This has happened. They should just book DJ and Pacquiao in a boxing match in Denver. Chester says. Yeah. Is Manny Pacquiao going to do that? He could do a much bigger arena, I'm sure. He'd probably have to do it in Saudi as well. I don't know. Right. Well, we've gone longer than I thought I would go. So why don't we talk about what does one do next? I guess we're kind of talking about that, aren't we? I don't know who should headline Denver. Sleepy and Haggerty is a fine headline. It should technically be the headliner. So I guess you need a new co-main event. I think they need to find another title fight. And it's a crazy idea. Can you somehow... No, I won't even say it. Sean's going to pay for that DJ and Pacquiao. Maybe that's not a bad idea. I would watch it. Yeah. Can you pull up the fights already booked for Denver and see who's missing? John says, yeah, I can do that for sure. Let's go. Sharing that screen. Here it is. Okay, yeah. Stamp's still on the poster here. Xiong Jingnan versus Stamp. So this fight, looks like it's going to be off. Haggerty, Superlek, Cade, Mikey, Liam, Sexan. Those are the 4 confirmed ones. I do know of a couple other fights on that card, but I wouldn't call them main event or co-main event material. Fizz, what's up? Hope you're having a good week too. Well, I'm having a bad week now with this news that Stamp is out of Denver and Bangkok. So, yeah, not much really we can go by from that card. I think there's going to be a reshuffle. You could potentially see. It's difficult though, because Rodtang is tied up, and they obviously want to do Rodtang Takara in Tokyo, which is 2 weeks after this card. So that takes Rodtang out of the frame. Who else can they parachute in to be a star name on that show? Still move tickets. It's to me, it's Demetrius Johnson. You throw a load of money at him, or you beg him to save the show, or he's feeling nice and does it anyway. Or they've lost Angela Lee. Are you going to convince Angela Lee to come back? After she retired a year ago, you say, "Hey, Angela, could you do the 4th fight with Jong? Maybe try and win that strawweight belt." There's no way Angela's coming back. I feel she seems done, and for good reasons. We've been through all that after what happened with her sister. You could maybe parachute in Christian Lee. I think they were lining Christian up for Atlanta in November, so maybe they bump Christian forward 2 months for a lightweight title defense. That could likely be it now. I think that makes the most sense, really. As long as Christian's cool with that time frame, it's still enough time for him to prepare, I believe, and it's not like he's cutting weight, I think. So should be enough time for Christian Lee. Yeah, Angela versus Jingnan, Vegan Crane suggests they could somehow convince Angela to come out of retirement for one more fight. Oh my god, that would be bonkers, and the crowd would go insane for her. And I think those three have had, so those two have had three incredible fights. I've really enjoyed them all, and it's the strawweight title was the one that got away for Angela, wasn't it? It was the thing she wanted most. But no, I don't think it's too much has happened for her, and it's September's not too far. Not yeah, yeah, it's a fairy tale idea. Angela Lee riding to the rescue. One more fight with Jingnan, her great rival. That's a headliner, sure. But no, it's not going to happen. John KL says, just put Malik in there. Let him defend one of his 3 belts. Easy booking. Yes, could do. Could have Malik in. A heavyweight title fight, yeah, is not a bad idea if it's the right guy. Malakin versus Rugrug. I think the fans would dig that. Rugrug's got, I think, a good look, and I'm sure they could sell that fight. Casual fans seem to like him. Denver needs to experience some of that Malakin stardust, John Kale says. Or how about the situation for a title bout? He's ready. Martin's I think Martin is off the out of the mix, shall we say, for a title fight. Yeah, he needs another win or two to get back up there. So you got Gary, who beat him, is in line. You could do Gary Tonin versus Tang Kai for the featherweight belt, perhaps. Gary's American, so that could work. There are just not any star names to pull from the roster, John Flower says. Yeah, I'm sure one's higher ups right now are really putting their heads together and having to think who can they slot in on this to save the day for Denver. And we're talking about it now, and there's no obvious name, is there? Right? No obvious play to make. Yeah, Christian Lee, I think, is the one. And then you just go all out with some striking matchups. Maybe this news with the featherweight kickboxing Grand Prix, they can put some of those first round matchups on that Denver card. But it also begs the question, why is Sidichai versus Masaki Noiri not a first round fight? That's going to be in Bangkok in a couple of weeks. Sean James, I'm usually asleep around this time, and I'm so glad I stayed awake to watch this. Jared Brooks versus Daniel Williams. I'm glad you're watching, Sean, and thanks. Appreciate it. Love having you here. You're one of the regulars. Love to see it. I see you on Twitter commenting and liking everything, so I appreciate that. Jared versus Daniel. Sure, Daniel will be game, but Daniel got smoked by Lito Adewang in his last MMA fight, so I think there's challenges ahead of him. Lito and Bokang have both won. Gustavo Balat won. But yeah, Jared has got a fight dropping soon. You will hear about it very soon. No shortage of challenges for Jared. Oh my God, Manifest Angela comeback, says Kimber. I was sad when Angela retired. Yeah, I was hoping we might get another fight out of her, but I understand everything that happened. Yeah, it's a very sad situation, obviously. I was thinking Anatoly should get on that card too, Chester says. Why not? Xiong Jingnan versus Smil Sundell in boxing special rules, LC says. I don't know, Al. I don't want to see any more of these special rules fights. I just don't think they worked. Or the boxing match they had in Qatar. The one that worked was DJ versus Rodtang mixed rules, because there was a cool story in that fight. It was, can Rodtang knock DJ out in 3 minutes? Because he's going to get subbed if he doesn't. And the first round was pretty frantic, right? The Jingnan versus Wonder Girl boxing rules thing was just a bit weird. No one seemed to know the rules. The fighters didn't know the rules. The ref didn't really know the rules. Judges didn't. Fans didn't. So I'm down for these mixing rules things if it makes sense and there's two good fighters in there. Jingnan versus Sundell. I mean, Miller's gonna light Jingnan up. To be honest, it's not really a fair fight. I think maybe I'm not giving the Panda enough credit, but in that situation, yeah, I'm thinking if you do a Jingnan versus Smiller MMA and Muay Thai mixture like DJ and Rodting, then it's interesting because can Jingnan survive 3 minutes with the Hurricane before she can then try and take down Smiller? But not that we see Jingnan go for takedowns too often, but can Smiller stuff a takedown? Can she sprawl? That's intriguing to me enough that I would want to watch that fight. So why not? Before you go, Nick, we should touch on the Grand Prix. Yeah, the Grand Prix. What do you all think of the Grand Prix idea? So to me, it just seems like they've put this out there to try and get some positive news going, and there's not really any new details on the Grand Prix. It's just, well, there's a featherweight Grand Prix, and there's no start date, no names confirmed for it. So, not to be negative about it, but yes, I'm not sure there's any actual update on it. We still talk about it. Who would you like to see in it, guys? I think the obvious names are Chingiz Alazov. Of course, he'll be in it. Well, if he's coming back, I've been told he is. Superbon interim champ. Marat Grigorian, Sitichai, Masaki Noiri. You could get Tawan Chai in. Smoking Joe if you want. But I'd like to see a couple surprises in there. I don't think they put Petrosian on the poster. Let me see if I can bring this up. I think I tweeted it somewhere, so I'll show it on screen. Yes, here it is. Yeah, they put Petrosian on the poster, but there's no way Giorgio is going to come back for this. It's too high. I think if Giorgio comes back, it's going to be more of a one-off fight for a retirement fight type of thing in one. He's not going to fight Chingiz or Superbon. But yeah, here are the four they've got. They're teasing everyone with Giorgio Petrosian. Yes. Do you think that'll happen, guys? Is that realistic? I'm not sure. I'd like to see Giorgio back, but I'm not sure how well he'll do against some of these monsters now. Giorgio's been gone for 2.5 years, is it? 3 years. Get quickly out there, Anonymous says. Ride off to Ukraine and wave... ride off the Ukraine wave of Usyk and show American fans some heavyweight striking. Not a bad idea. Anatoly would be good on the card. Johnny Bracchioli, I hope I pronounced that right, agrees. Proxy war. Kriklia versus Anatoly, LC suggests. Smiller MMA debut. Yeah. I'm not against that. She's training for it. I know she is, and it's on her team's mind for the future. We're gonna have Smiller on the podcast tomorrow, actually. Yeah, don't know if I mentioned that. Smiller Sundell, former strawweight Muay Thai champ, will be here. Trying to get a couple other guests as well lined up. I may have John DiBella. I'm not sure yet. He's a little bit busy at the moment, but we'll see. And maybe one other person I've spoken to. But yeah, Smiller will be the star attraction, and she's the only one who's confirmed. So that'll be fun. Get your questions ready for her. Same time tomorrow, 10 p.m. Singapore time, 10 a.m. Eastern time. Talking of Singapore, geez, how crazy was that? Singapore Airlines. Don't know if you've seen that. Their plane dropped 6,000 feet because of an air pocket. Someone died. A lot of people were injured. Some crazy footage out there. Super Leg will get injured next. I can feel it, Anonymous says. Or Haggerty. He blocked me on it, so not sure how his training is going. Haggerty blocked you. Oh dear. Now you know how it feels. I'm blocked by Mexon. Blocked me on IG. Okay, yeah. What did you say to him to get blocked? Haggerty's pretty thick-skinned, I believe. It just feels like Sidichai and Noiri is a wasted fight if it's not part of the Grand Prix. Josh says, yeah, I agree with you. I think it should be a first rounder. Maybe they can announce akin to the WWE's King of the Ring tournament that is going on right now. You know, they're having matches not all on one night. They're kind of having it one week and then the next week. So maybe you could just say, yeah, this is a first round matchup of the featherweight Grand Prix, and then we'll have some more first round matchups in the near future. You don't have to set a date. You could then have one on the June 28th Friday Fight Spectacular tentpole thingy, whatever it's called, and then you could have one on the July 6th Fight Night 23. You have another one on the August show. You could have a couple in Denver, some in Tokyo. Yeah, let's go international with this thing. Spread it out. Nico Carrillo, how about it? In the tournament? Not sure. But he's got a fight with Simmerpet on July, is it? Or yeah, I think it's July card. Haggerty blocked me for saying he was scared of Nico, says Anonymous. All right, so we found out what gets under Jonathan Haggerty's skin. I see. Agreed. Doesn't need to be all on the same card. Chester says, yes, it's the Grand Prix. I think it makes no sense to just do a fight with two of the best featherweight kickboxers you have on your roster and then have a featherweight kickboxing Grand Prix, start a month later or whatever it will be. So why not? Let's spice it up. We need to, maybe get a little bit more buzz about this card again now with the stamp news. You want to take people's attention away from the stamp news for 167. So you maybe throw a couple gimmicks out there. Yeah, like we're gonna have this featherweight match on Grand Prix match. But yeah, it is a big blow. We can't deny that Stamp Fairtex being injured is a tough one for them to take. I feel for one championship. They've had rotten luck, with injuries and suspensions and not suspensions, but things have been going wrong. Last year there were a few things, with Owen Chai Super One fight got cancelled twice. Haggerty and Andrade got pushed back. Yeah, there was a little run where they seemed doomed, everything was going wrong. I do feel for them. But this is the industry, and it happens to UFC as well. Yeah. But Stamp, this is the problem, when you've maybe not got enough established superstars and you can just bring another one in easily. It's tough because the card is quite far away. The Denver card, I mean, in theory, you could reach out to someone else, try and get them on there, but there's a limited pool of players. Shall we say? The star names they could go for. Like I said, Demetrius Johnson, Christian Lee. You could throw Malakin on. Maybe they'll end up doing a few of them because, I mean, let's be honest. Who is in Stamp's popularity sphere or stratosphere? It's Rod Tang and her, and then really there's no one else in terms of popularity. Those two are the most popular, like globally for one, by far. So it used to be Angela Lee, but Angela's retired now. there's no one on the level. Even Demetrius Johnson is not at that level. He's obviously well respected by MMA fans globally, but I wouldn't say he is as popular. I mean, I'm just going off what I see numbers wise, statistics wise, and we know he wasn't a pay per view draw for UFC, things like that. I think casual people will still. He would be a great substitute though for he would drive ticket sales for the arena, no doubt, 100%. He would probably be the best bet for me. He is on that tier below in terms of popularity, though I believe for one championship. And then you've got Christian Lee. It's tough. Anatoly, Haggerty Superlek, Superlek's on the card already, and Haggerty. Who else can you go to? Who can you get? I'm calling Demetrius Johnson if I'm one championship. I'm on the phone with him already, begging him to come beat a scrub. DJ is not popular as a draw, John Flower says. Yes. But he would get a loud reception at the arena and he would sell tickets. So I think that's all they've got to be focused on is selling the tickets, getting that arena full, making it look must see. Any event one hypes up is cursed. Too much is cursed, Anonymous says. I expect July and August to outshine June and September. Perhaps, yeah. They seem to have an issue with maybe I'm not saying it's an issue. I mean, they just have bad luck, like you say, a curse. Whenever they create a big card like this, something goes wrong. We had Tokyo in January, the Rodtang injury, and then the Sage Northcutt shenanigans. Qatar, you had the red card for Jared and Arjan. Just looking at him here. This is the show, yeah, and you had 2 yellow cards in the Tankai Town Lee fight. A lot of drama there. Anyway, Anatoly is their best choice, in my opinion. Chester says he has potential to be a star. He's a great character. He's the champion multiple MMA weight classes. And MMA is the biggest pull in North America. I agree with you, yeah. I just don't think he's there yet. I think if you book Anatoly for that card, you still need another title fight as well. I think with Stamp, you could have got away with just having those 2 big fights at the top, and then the rest didn't really matter. Now, if you stuck Anatolian as the co-main, I'd be looking for a third title fight, kind of. And I know I'm not discounting the grappling super fight, guys. I love my Rutola boys and Mikey. I just mean a striking title fight, MMA or kickboxing or Muay Thai. I think then that's fine by me. Maybe Smiller can sneak on there somehow, yeah. Let Bulla save the US card, Fizz. I don't think Arjan Bulla will ever get another fight in one again. Chester, Anatoly has 0 opponents to fight and feud with, John Flower says. I mean, there's a few guys at heavyweight you could do. Yeah, Amir Alekbari rematch. Rugrug. Those 2 make sense, right? Buchecha's hanging around, but Rugrug beat Buchecha. So why not? Oh, Ben Tainan as well. Called Anatoly out. Yeah, there's people Anatoly could fight at heavyweight. Middleweight, not really. Unless you want to convince Ongla to. I think Ongla would take that fight, to be honest. light heavyweight doesn't exist as a division. They don't have any active light heavyweight MMA fighters, like zero. Although Anatoly now kind of walks around as a light heavyweight in case he needs to go up or down. But yes, but as Chester points out, Anatoly is talked about on popular MMA podcasts in America, Canada, and not many other athletes from 1R. I think the three title thing kind of propelled him to a wider audience, yes, among casual MMA fans outside of the usual one sphere, just because of the picture or the three belts. I mean, it's a great achievement, yeah. Uh, and it looks cool. Anyway, well, I've done an hour, guys. I'm not sure how much more I can talk about. This was meant to just be a quick news hit, but it's fun that everyone is joining in the chat and asking questions and discussing, debating. AV Mail, what's up? Says, sorry if it was asked earlier. Do you think this card shakeup has? Do you think that this card shakeup hits the profitability of one at a time when Chatri's under pressure to show a profit? The black, as he put it. Well, how much money are they going to make off ticket sales in Thailand? I don't think that's going to make or break the company. That's not where they focus on. They don't focus on selling tickets in Thailand because you're never going to make that much, given the general pricing structure of events in that country and people's wages and things like that. So I think this show was more about making a statement with again, I can't really talk about it too much, but there is a production, as they refer to, I think, that was gonna look at this show as a kind of big showcase for the world to see. So losing Stamp is a blow, definite blow, huge blow. Like she would have been the face of that. Luckily, Rodtang's on the card. So no, I don't think it's going to hurt the profitability. It's just annoying for one. It must be they must think, why the heck does this keep happening? And couldn't have been a worse thing that happened to them right now. Right. May I ask exactly, this is Albert, what happened to Stamp Fairtex, bro? Uh, all I've heard was, a knee injury in training. I don't think it's anything sinister or nefarious. It seems legit. I heard about it yesterday, and we were considering, discussing it on yesterday's show, but I hadn't confirmed it, so I didn't want to run the story. And yes, like I say, it would piss off one because I think they like to orchestrate that announcement themselves and get their ducks in a row. So I was a good boy. I didn't rock the boat yesterday, but yeah, I just think it's a training injury. Like I was saying earlier, meniscuses you can just do that very innocuously. You don't even need to be kind of locked in a submission or whatever by someone else. You can just do that turning to face someone. If you change direction too quickly, it can just hit your meniscus. Here it is from Fizz. Okay. My sparring partner was behind me and she was going to take me down. All right, I haven't seen this. She grabbed my body and lifted me up. But since she is smaller than me, when she lifted me up, she couldn't lift me that high. And my leg was still touching the ground. Then she twisted. When she twisted, my leg was still touching the ground. So my knee got twisted. When it twisted, it made a loud noise. So I stopped immediately and went for an MRI after that, and the doctor said my meniscus was torn. Stamp. So, yes, was it Jihin Radzuan? That would be my guess. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I know Jihin has prepared Stamp for the fight and previous fights. So, but I don't know. I don't want to cast aspersions. But yes, unlucky, very unlucky for Stamp for one championship. It is, yeah, just the worst thing that could have happened. Like I said, I think you can afford to lose Rod Tang from this card. You can afford, and you can afford to lose Taiwan Shai. But yeah, maybe I'm being dramatic. But Denver, yeah, she was the one person you just did not want to lose from that card. Anyways, yeah, that is it. I think I've come to the end again. I don't want to stay too long because I'll be back tomorrow, guys. So come and join in tomorrow around same time. Yeah, 10. We'll do 10 p.m. Singapore time, 10 a.m. Eastern until about 11:30. So an hour and a half, maybe a bit longer if the chat's as fired up as you guys have been today. Yes, an hour and a half at least tomorrow, maybe a little bit longer. I'll be with my buddy, my esteemed colleague Kyle Diamond from Sports Kita, and we will have Smilla Sundell. Definitely, perhaps we will have John DiBella. I haven't confirmed that, yes, but definitely Smilla. Thanks for listening, guys. Thanks for watching and asking questions. Appreciate you guys. Hope it was fun for you. If you like these breaking news things, let me know, and I'm happy to do more of them. If there's a big breaking news topic and it's worth discussing, we can do this more often. It's fun for me, and I knew that tomorrow probably going to have a lot of stuff to talk about with Smiller. I didn't want to get lost in the shuffle. This stuff, the Stamp deserves its own show. So yeah, if you're happy, leave a comment in the video after, or any suggestions for other shows. I know some guys, some of you just want as many shows as possible. I'm happy to do that too. Yes, Sean will be watching the replay tomorrow. Have a great week, everyone. Have a great week indeed. We'll see you tomorrow. Should be a banger of a show. But yes, sad news, breaking news. Stamp Fairtex injured and out of 167. Definitely likely to for Denver. What's going to happen? We don't know. But I will see you tomorrow. We're going to talk to Smiller. Maybe Smiller's got some of the inside track. She trains with Stamp, or as is at the same gym. Yes, we'll quiz her. Anyway,